Let's see if old Uncle Mike's in. Maybe he'll enlighten us with some of his painting wisdom. Okay. He is open. All right. We're going to sit you right there. Hey, how you doing? Painter in residence here. I'm Francis McCarthy. Well, we got this. Oh, hopefully we got better sound today. I've got this little mic here, but I've also got a mic over there. That could be like a stereo effect. That could be groovy. I'm sure it's going to pick up the of the focusing, but we enjoy that. That's a feature. So, Easel Talk, number 5. I got stuff for you. I got stuff. Navigating the journey to mastery. I did that last week too. That was last week's icon or thumbnail. 5 core strategies for the informed painter. And why do I say the informed painter? Because that's you. You are an informed painter. You are the kind of painter that comes around to Casa M. Francis McCarthy and can appreciate paintings and know what's involved, But you're often demotivated. So that's what we're going to... why are you demotivated? Because you understand, I think you understand, just what's involved with pursuing mastery. And a lot of times... when we start looking at that journey and we think about it, it might just be completely immobilizing because we go, well, how am I ever going to succeed? How am I ever going to make it? This is the thing. You don't really want to worry about it too much, and we're going to take you through some steps, some frames, some attitudes that you can adopt to help you navigate your own personal journey to mastery. Okay. So you're my target audience, the informed painter. You understand what's going on. Journey to mastery. I came up with this. I had a couple. I did some like workshops about 2 years ago, and I'm not big on that. Mostly, I prefer one-on-one. Okay, I don't really. Oh, we're gonna need a brush. What am I going to use to point with? We're going to use the treacle. I sent them an email. I said, would you guys like to sponsor me? They're not getting back to me yet. Maybe they will. So the journey to mastery, you can see, you can feel the great work. It's inside you. And it's an echo, it's a response to the great work that you perceive. You go, I feel that. I can see it. I can go there. Or if not there exactly, but you feel the echo, The thing is, like that journey from starting out, buying some paints and starting to make paintings to the place where you're producing paintings that are consistently awesome. That's quite a journey. That's the journey to mastery. And actually, I should mention, Journey to Mastery is the title of Volume 4 in my series of books I'm working on, which is The Transcendental Landscape. And just a little update there. My editor has been editing. She decided to start on Volume 2. And I was like, fine, you're helping me out. You do whatever you want, Volume 2 is artistic development. And I had another talk prepared, but I decided to go this direction today. But I'll sit on another talk, which was focusing a bit on artistic development. Anyway, get back to the update. So I'm working on formatting for the print editions now on Volume 2. So we're in. What's happening? She's got Volume 2 done, and I'm working on it. So... a lot of this stuff we're pulling in is coming out of that whole process of... So the whole idea behind it, just in a nutshell, was I was writing blogs, I was doing videos, and I'm always tossing you my ideas and insights about painting. And we hit our 10th anniversary of basically putting out weekly videos on painting. And so I started looking back and collecting things, and I thought, man, this is going to be a book. So some of the genesis behind one chapter might be an insight from a blog post 10 years ago, right? Or it could have been something that I was talking about as recently as 6 months ago, because we've been done writing for about 3-4 months now, working on this editing and now the formatting. So back to work. So you can see the journey. We're going to work on this. Scratch my ear here. We're going to work on the solution to this. Like, you look at the immense journey, you go, well, yeah, I can't do it. Or maybe I'm going to do it. No, I can't do it. You can do it. You can totally do it. I'm always giving you steps. And that's the other thing I want to say. I'm going to be doing these Easel talks every week. And there's going to be overlap, because so many of the issues that I think people pursuing painting as something they want to do run into, they're consistently the same problems. And so much of what this book is like, there's different facets of issues, but everything ties into everything else. So there's always going to be some overlap here, just so you know. Okay. Strategy 1, how do we deal with this overwhelm, this massive journey ahead of us? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the journey. Worry about making paintings. Don't be thinking too far into the future. Think about your next painting. Think about the painting you're working on right now. And the tip I passed on to you several times is, get more invested with the process of painting than the results of painting. Of course, we're always going to be invested in the results, but for me, I'm always interested in that next painting, the next thing I'm going to do. And that's not to say I don't love the things I have done. We're surrounded by them. How are you liking this natural light? Is it good? It's good. Hopefully I'm looking okay today. Okay, so strategy 1, just create. Don't worry about improvement. That's another thing I want to touch on here. This whole idea, it's starting to fall apart, but the whole world I came up in as a Gen Xer is the self-improvement matrix, and the boomers started it, and plenty of Gen Xers got on board, and maybe some of you generations after too. But the whole idea of self-improvement is a noble idea on one hand. On the other hand, it can be very self-defeating. You can't be too overt with things. You need to give yourself a bit of a break, and being too focused on improvement is one of the things I wouldn't worry about. I would worry about making paintings and let the improvement take care of itself. So strategy 1 is just focus on painting, mess around, doodle, experiment without expectation of results. Very good, very good. Strategy 2, master one fundamental, I can actually speak, one fundamental at a time to concentrate on for a period. So, like I was talking about, pull you off. I did this Saturday. We had this open day. I don't know. I tried to solve this. It has some issues. That's a drawing / underpainting. This one may not actually end up happening. I think I had questions and issues. That's the blue tack. Quite a lot of blue tack for a 5x7 there. That's composition, right? There's some limited values there. Composition. Like I mentioned last week, you can you get yourself a pad of paper, put on some house paint, just concentrate on doing drawings and focus on that for a while. And then your other challenge, color. Color's your other challenge. Well, the good news is, I'm going to segue, not this week. Well, you're going to be seeing this Friday. So next week, on Wednesday, my Wednesday, in the Substack Studio Pass area, is going to be my limited palette tutorial. And I was going to maybe even make this whole talk about limited palettes. I'm not going to do that. I probably will, though. I think I'm going to do a talk about that next for my next easel talk. So I won't get into it too much now. But if you are challenged with color, limited palette is the way out. And that's because you strip in all those tons of different paints, you know. You got a whole box full. You don't really know where to use them or when to use them. So it takes that away. And I'm not saying get rid of your box of paints. I'm saying strip it all down, start basic, and then build up. But we'll go into that next week. We won't talk about it too much now. But that would be one of the fundamentals. Composition would be one I'd go after for a while. Go after learning color with starting with a limited palette. That'd be another I'd go after for a while. Brush handling. That'd be one I'd go after for a while. But I would just focus on these different aspects at different times with a relaxed sort of feeling. Not this feeling like, oh my God, I've got to get this down. I've got to start producing decent work. We don't get, nobody cares. That's the other, that's not on our list. It's not on our list. My mustache here. But yeah, you're the one that cares, okay? You can, even, I've known this forever, but it's been, yeah, I really know it now. I really know it now. Maybe you care somewhat about what I'm doing. Maybe that's why you're here. Or more likely, you care about what it is you're doing, and that's fine. You got to live with you. Yeah, okay. Haha, strategy 3. What is that, 4 or 3? 3. We talked about this, I think, a couple of Easel talks ago about the social media. Avoid social media comparisons. Deliberately limit or ignore social media content that showcases highly polished dream goal paintings. Yeah, you don't want to go there. You just, in fact, the whole idea of sharing what you do when you were just starting out, it's like kind of cart before the horse, I have to say. Now that said, you're gonna, I know why. You know, you make something and you want to share it with the world. That's so natural. So I'm not putting you down or what I'm saying though is it's a bit of a destructive thing if you I would just build paintings, make paintings, and then maybe if you've got one you think is absolutely amazing, put that out. But what happens is you think, oh, I need to build an audience. It's like, do you want to build an audience before you're a great painter? In a sense, I started building an audience before. I'm not saying I'm a great painter, but before I was as good as I am now, I was building an audience, and it's all there. It's all warts and all. It's all on the channel. There's a playlist. Go back to 2015 and see. Yes, he did some good paintings. He was selling paintings, meaning I'm speaking like the third person. But, you know, I'm better now. And I don't count that too much as social media. But hopefully you understand what I'm saying. You know this, oh, I'm going to put up my effort. And you know, a lot of us, if it's not a great effort, a lot of us are looking at that going, well, she's trying, or he's trying, God bless him, you know. And maybe we're your friend. Good one. That's what we're going to say. Do we believe that? Is it good? Maybe in 2 or 3 years you'll look at it and you'll know it wasn't good. And then you might think, geez, I don't know why I ever put that up on the social medias. And why was everyone just telling me it? Well, it feels good to get some positive feedback. I understand that. But the genuine feedback is the only feedback you should concern yourself with. So just think about that. Avoid the social media comparison. It's also just making that journey so much more vast. I would say If you are going to share your stuff on the social media, just do it intermittently. Don't be like, oh, it's Tuesday, I've got to share a painting today, and this one I've done, which I really don't like, but I'm going to put something up because I'm building an audience and I'm going to have a show. Don't worry about building an audience until you're doing work that you know is consistently awesome. And if you, well, we've got a whole section on self-deception in a new book. If you know, you really should be dialed into that. An honest evaluation of what you're doing is important, but not with a sense of overwhelm, just with a sense of like, here I am, we got a ways to go, but isn't it a nice day? We're just on our journey. We're just moving on down the road. Okay. Strategy 4. Well, hopefully this will be, last week's was 40 minutes. I'm 4. I hit the thumb this time, okay? Set process-based goals. Don't set goals like, oh, I wanted to do that painting of the Grand Canyon, which is very hard. By the way, you better, you know, I used to have to illustrate the Grand Canyon with 8 colors. It's tough. The Grand Canyon is beautiful, but what makes it beautiful is its vastness and the array of colors, and the composition itself is tough. Not saying it's not doable. There's some great painters out there doing that, but my point is, your goals should be not to create this awesome painting that's going to be like X, Y, or Z that you can put on the social medias and everyone's going to acknowledge that you're a genius. Your goal should be to paint 30 minutes every day. That should be your goal. 30 minutes, half hour. Just do that, and that's going to feel great. And you just make your paintings, and then if they're really bad, after a while, like, how are you going to know that they're bad? Well, you need to make a few, and then you start going, well, that one's, I could fix that, or whoa, that's really bad. And that means that's advancement. That's moving on down the road. That's your journey, you know. And the journey requires, of course, work to be done, paintings to be made. Yeah, so steer clear of outcome-based goals like, oh, I'm going to do 10 paintings for a show. Well, how long you been painting? Oh, I've been painting 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and you want to have a show? Well, yeah. I mean, that Biscuit guy, he had a show after painting 2 weeks. So why not me? I'm just as good as him. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fine. Don't worry about shows. Don't have a show. Don't, you know, when you want to have a show, is after you've done a bit of work, someone's going to come to you and go, hey, wow, this is cool. Why don't I put it up in my gallery, or put it up in my restaurant, or put it up in my place of employment, or something like that. The universe will conspire to aid you and help you in that regard. But you shouldn't be worried about that. You shouldn't be worried about, you should be striving to make excellent work, excellent paintings, because who wants to make bad ones? But you should just be invested in the process of making paintings. Make a bunch of them. Yeah. I already warned you, all these talks are going to kind of end up with the same thing. But you need to hear this. This is why the universe put this video in front of you. Because you have the talent. You have the ability. It's not about that. It's about a lot. If you're struggling, it's a bit because you've accepted and absorbed ideas that aren't productive and aren't helping your process. You know, ideas like, I need to share my stuff on social media. Just stop doing that. Just focus on making nice work. And then after a while, you can share on social media. You're already fine.
Did you know you could buy the book? Landscapepainter.co.nz. The book cost $65 US.
That social media is really, it's a human experiment that we're all finding is just not that healthy or wholesome for your mind. Yeah. Topic for another video though. Anyway, you want to set process-based goals, like working every day. Or you can set other goals, like I've been doing a lot of 4x6s. I think I'm going to do some 5x7s, or I'm going to do some 8x10s. Or these are process-based goals, right? Or I've done process, a whole series is based on process, where I thought, well, I'm going to make a painting with just one color. Like this painting will feature Mars yellow and black and white, and that'll be the whole painting. It's on the channel. There's a playlist. It's the I don't know what it's called, pigment series, I think. Right before that, I did one called the sepia series. Every painting was just sepia tones. That was my process-based goal, and I made 20, 30. I sold a lot of those too, actually. That's cool. But the goal wasn't, oh, I need to make paintings that'll sell. Sometimes that's not a process-based goal, though. That's like that other kind of goal. Yeah. And it can lead to frustration and inadequacy. And so avoid that. Strategy 5. We can use all 5 fingers. 5. Integrate purposeful rest. View rest as a crucial, active part of your artistic development, not as laziness or regression. Okay, this is such a thing. Let's get the brush back for this. Idleness has got to be a part of your process. There needs to be time. This is not idleness, by the way. That's the opposite of idleness. That's called scrolling. I'm telling you how the whole world works. No, I know you know how it works. What? What's that? It's the book! 13. At the time I wrote this, was 13 years of painting experience. That painting's right over there. A lot of these paintings are still here. Oh, that's a nicey. Get the book if you want the how-to, like the painting how-to book on tonalist painting. Tonal painting. For 8, 10, 7 years I was saying tonalist, and every time the translator on the for the transcript for YouTube calls it toneless or something like that. Not a word in its lexicon. Okay. Yeah, so planned rest. Now, planned rest doesn't mean you give yourself... planned rest means that you don't push too hard, but it has to be married to consistent effort. That's why I'm saying a process like every day. I think after dinner is good because most people are working. If you're retired, then set up some other sort of system that works best for you. Maybe first thing in the morning might be best since your mind's going to be fresh. But you don't need to get like, I'm going to do 4 hours a day and that way I'll progress on my journey to mastery even quicker. Yes, you will. And we talked about that stuff in last week's video where we used the like the Steve Vai, the guitarist analogy. Why he's practicing 6-7 hours a day. And he brought up a point, though, that was very important. That's a lot of discipline. No, it didn't require discipline because I was really into it. So if you're so into painting that you want to paint 6-7 hours a day, then do that. But don't do that because I'm working for my first show. Well, how long have you been painting? 4 weeks. No, don't be that person. And please don't be that person. I want you to paint. I really do. But I don't want you to have a show when you've been... Are we misting? I don't think we are. I think we're good today. The sun's come out kinda a little bit, so that's why the lighting's changed. We're ready to summarize. I think, are we going to do this? Hey, we're going to get this one done in a half hour this week. Isn't that cool? I'm sorry, last week's went over, and a lot of that misting problem was the reason why. Conclusion, summary, your journey begins now. Okay? Yes, the journey to mastery, it's immense. And you never arrive. That's the thing. You never arrive. I don't ever sit here and go, yeah, I'm finally masterful. I look at my work and I can go, wow, especially if I compare it to something from 10 years ago. And I brought up in another broadcast, I did some things 10 years ago that hold up to what I'm doing now. But If I did, 100 paintings that year, maybe 1 or 2 might hold up to what I'm doing now, and the rest, no. Okay? And that's fine. That's fine. You'll hit these high watermarks, and you really want that. Yeah. Okay, so the journey to mastery is immense, but it's all about the journey. It's not about the destination. Don't get hooked into the outcomes. Don't get hooked into like that place down the road you see you're headed and you want to be. It's fine. You need to have a direction. You need to have a place you want to go. But it's about getting up every day and putting your boots on and walking down the road. That's what it's about. Yeah. You have the power to build the systems that are going to work for you. You're not the same kind of person as me. I know that. You need to find systems that work for you. But consistent effort, it doesn't matter what your personality is. If you want to be a painter, you must make paintings. And there's lots of times that people say, well, what are you going to do today? So I'm going to make a painting because I identify as a painter, and painters must paint. We must make paintings. You can't call yourself a painter if you don't make paintings. Come on now. Okay, so recap. Start by just creating stuff. Just make things. That's the fun thing. Hook into that place you were when you were a kid. If you watch kids make art, they just make art for the joy of it. That's what you want to do too. And if you do enough of that, then after a while, mastery will just, accrue around you. It'll be like bits of reality just sticking to you. It'll be your armor, right? Go after one fundamental at a time. You struggle with composition, then do a bunch of drawings. You're struggling with color, get rid of that giant box of paints. I'm going to start now. This will be next week's video. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. But we'll start now. Get yourself that. You go, well, I already own so many paints. Why would I want to buy that? Well, because this set of paints goes with my limited palette video that is going to be rolling out next week. And I'll have some sort of form of that is publicly accessible, probably a 15-minute version where I talk about things. But obviously, I'm interested in you cracking open that wallet and the moths fly out. And investing in my Studio Pass area over at Substack. Because, why? Because I think it's freaking awesome, man. Transcript, reference, palette, the live painting session, it's all there, and it's going to be so there with these tutorial videos. Like, I was trying to sell these for a bunch of money. Whatever. I don't care, because I didn't really have a sense of, all I knew is I wanted to teach, and I thought this would be a great way to do it. So it's going on there. It's going on the Substack, and it's going to be tied into color. Because I don't hear people coming on the channel. Like, I think the issue with compositional problems, people don't realize that that's their problem. But with color, they can tell. Oh, my greens don't look right. They look fake. They look bad. What do? I have the answer. By the way, it's Mike's Green. It's in the book. It's all over the channel. I'll tell you now. You get this color. Where are you? That's Hansa yellow. That's your real green. And you mix it with this color. That makes green. What? That's right. No one told you. Uncle Mike did. Black and yellow make the best green. Okay. Moving on. Protect your mindset by avoiding comparisons. Social media is all about that. Even if you go, oh, I'm buffing it. I'm not worried about it. I'm not comparing myself. Well, whatever. You don't, also, I brought it up in the channel before, but some human needs to state this. Bombarding your psyche with 1 gazillion paintings by 1 gazillion artists and then setting off to do your own thing is not a good approach. That's one of the reasons I got this book out too. Pardon me. That's a little faded. Just get this book. You like tonalism? Get this book. spend a little time with this book before. Oh, what I know. Spend a little time with this book before your painting session. Maybe pick a painting out of here. I like the way that one looks. I want to try and do something like that, just for fun. But, you know, scroll. Look at that painting, look at that painting, look at that painting. Oh, he's got a tip, he's got a tip, he's got a tip, he's got a tip, he's got a tip. Mike, Uncle Mike has got all the tips you need. And they're right here. Yeah. So, if you want to use social media, go ahead. Frankly, I don't even go on social media anymore. But I do get my news on the Twitter now. And I stripped all painting, everything away from that. I don't want to see anybody's paintings. I'm sorry, I love you, and I'm sure you're very good. And I'm sure if I was to come across your painting in real life, I would be deeply moved and let you know that. But I am going to do my own paintings, and I need to keep focused. So, just some tips there. Yes. Set yourself up for success with the process-based goals, not with like goal-based goals. Like, I'm going to do a painting that's, like a Vermeer. Okay, the greatest painter that ever lived, you're just going to fall very short. How about you make a goal to just paint a Vermeer study every week or something? I don't know. Process-based goals. A better goal is, that's not such a great goal. A great goal is paint every day. There you go. And get hooked into that positive, and you will. If you work, and I mean, a lot of people probably still do work. If you work, make that after dinner. You come home, have your dinner. I know you're tired, but actually you'll find that if you sit in your little spot, like I told you last week, you have a spot set up just for painting. You sit down there, you get your paints out, and you start doing things. You'll be in the world you want to live in, as opposed to that work world that you were just there because you needed money. Right? Okay. Purposeful rest is part of your training, which means don't push too hard. Take time off. Take time to just sit there with a book like this, or with my book. And that's not scrolling. It's not scrolling and looking pain. I'm getting inspired. Yeah, okay. I realize everyone's different. But you probably have enough inspiration. What you need is to make paintings. So, yeah, focus on that. And don't worry about the journey. The journey to mastery will take care of itself if you put these steps into practice. And I hope you got something from this talk. And I hope you embrace these strategies because they're good. Trust the process. I know how to make paintings happen. It's by making paintings, Yes, mindful effort is the truest path to reaching the artistic heights. The journey is long, but it is yours to navigate. One strategic step at a time. Thank you for joining me today. And I'll be back. Sunday, we got the regular video coming out. Oh, that'll probably be like some version of that limited palette thing. So you can tell I've got a great plan. I'm making this stuff up as I go. But it was great talking with you today, and I hope you got something from this. I made time to get this talk done, and we are done. And until I come back with another Easel talk for your hopefully for your edification.
You could buy the book.
Do me a favor, do me a solid.
Landscapepainter.co.
Take care, stay out of trouble.
The book cost $65 US. Did you